to a big fish, you reel it in, and at last you get to hold your big prize. To do this, you're going to have to learn how to tie a Texas rig, which looks a little something like this. I've caught hundreds of fish on a Texas rig. And in order to catch a fish on one, you have to learn how to tie it, you have to know where to throw it, you have to know how to use it in the water, and you have to know some slight variations on it. First, we're going to start off by learning how to tie it and what you need to set it up. What you want to use it on is a nice stiff rod and a reel, and you want to put some line on it. You usually want a little bit heavier line because you'll be setting the hook and catching bigger fish with it. So something like 15-pound line. I have 15-pound fluorocarbon line on here. And you're going to want a medium-sized hook. This is a 1/0 hook with a straight shank offset like that. And you're going to need a bullet weight. Any size weight will work. This one right here is a 1/2 ounce. I'll talk later about more of what different kinds to use in different situations. And then lastly, some kind of soft plastic. We have a bug style bait or a worm, but you can use almost any kind. To start, we're going to show you how to tie it on. You're going to want to start off by taking your weight and sliding it onto your line. Let's see here. Got to get a good hold of it. After you slide the weight on there, you're going to want to tie the hook on. I'm going to be using a Palmer knot. So you basically put the line through once and then feed it back through the hook again, so that you have like 2 pieces of line on either side. And then you do an overhand knot with holding both the 2 pieces there. And you take the loop side after you do the overhand knot and pull it and loop the hook back through it and pull all the line in. And then you just want to cut off the little tag end with some pliers or scissors, whatever you got. And there you have the hook and sinker on there. And then you want to take the hook and put the plastic on it. And to do that, you just take the nose of the plastic, you hook it through a little bit on the hook, and then poke it through like that so it's hanging there. You slide it all the way up to the point, and then in order to make the bait weedless so that you don't get snagged on like trees or anything in the water, like any plants, you just poke it right back through there and make sure that the hook is not showing on the top. And then there you go, you have it all the way set up, just like that. Now, you want to use this in, you can use it pretty much anywhere on the lake, but specific spots you want to hit where there's fish at would be like any kind of bushes in the water, any kind of trees. You can take it and you cast it in there, and because it's weedless, it makes it really good for areas like that, because fish like to sit where they have some kind of protection, like around a dock or something. But if you were fishing with another lure, you might get snagged. So you should definitely fish it in places that you can't throw other lures, and that's one of the advantages of this bait. Alright, and then once you know where to throw it, you're going to want to know how to throw it. And right here I have the pond, so I was going to show a little bit of how to use it in the water. You basically throw it to wherever you want to cast it, like a piece of wood, like I was saying, and you let it sit there. And then you let it drop all the way to the bottom at first, and when you're ready to reel it in, you lift it up a little bit, not all the way out of the water like I did here, but it's shallow, and so then you let it drop again. And then you lift it up and just let it drop, and then reel in the slack line. Lift it up and let it drop and reel in the slack line. And it basically shows like a little creature like hobbling across the bottom of the lake. and that's what a fish will think is some kind of food for them, and then they'll bite. And so when you feel a bite, you'll feel, usually it'll happen when you're letting it sit still. So like after the first drop, you might feel it, or any of the other drops. What'll happen is you'll either feel like a quick tick tick on your line, like something picked it up and is running with it, or you might not even feel it, and you'll just see your line maybe moving off to the side. And so then at that point, you want to reel in as much slack as possible and lean back and set the hook. And that basically just drops the plastic down and sets the hook into the fish. And then you start reeling them all the way in. And then you get to hold your big fish. Now that you know how to catch a fish on it, we're going to talk about different variations. So one of the first variations is the weight size. I've got 3 different kinds here. One is I think a 3/16 ounce, a ½ ounce, and 3/8 ounce. And basically, I always try to say go with the lightest weight possible, if you can, because it's just more subtle. You know, you get a slower drop, so the fish have a longer time to see it. And the only disadvantage of using a lighter weight is it makes it harder to cast. So if you're trying to take a longer cast or a more accurate cast, then you might want to use something a bit heavier. As well as if you're fishing in deeper water and you want the lure to get down to the bottom faster. Another variation you have is the soft plastic you're using. So like I said, I have a few different kinds out here. This is like a worm. It's pretty good in all situations. It's kind of more subtle, and you know, it just looks like a little worm. It kind of has a fluttering action. These other two, the bug and the craw, they are supposed to represent like little bugs or crustaceans, crawfish on the bottom, which a lot of fish like to eat. And they're nice because they have these little flappers, and so they give off more vibration that the fish can feel, and they can come in and eat the bait. Another variation is the color of the bait you're using. So right here, this is honestly my favorite color. It's called Okeechobee Craw. On one side it's green, on the other side it's sparkly blue, and that blue is really visible in darker colored water or on like a cloudy day when the fish wouldn't be able to see a more like natural color lure like the green side. But this color is also good because it does have the green side, so on a nice sunny day you can use it and catch fish anywhere too, or in clear water. But if you were in super murky water and you wanted to be specific, you would want to use something with a dark color like black and purple here, or a dark blue, because it's more visible in the low light situations and it kind of stands out as the silhouette for the fish to see. This color here is Lab Magic. It's actually kind of similar to the Okeechobee Craw because it has the green as well as the purple, but it's a little bit more of a clear water kind of bait, so the fish can see it better in clear water. And those are all of the variations you can do on it. You can also change what kind of rod you're using, what kind of line and hooks. It all depends on what you can find, you know, at the store, or what you want to use, as well as like how much money you want to spend. And now you know how to catch a Texas rig, or catch a fish on a Texas rig. You know, you just need to learn how to tie it on. You need to know where to throw it and how to throw it. Now go catch a big one.